Hello everyone, this is our EM tutorial, and this tutorial we're going to analyze different types of first order and second order equations. Okay, let's just start analyzing. So as you can see, first order ODEs, there are two types of first order ODEs. One type can be separable and the second type is non-separable. So if it's separable, there's a different technique. If it's non-separable, it's a different technique, okay? So let's firstly analyze the first case. For example, see, what that means, definition, by definition, if you have here dy and dt, right? And here you have py qt. What does it mean? P is a function which independent variable is y, okay? I mean P depends only on y, and Q only on t. If you see that the function here depends only on y and the function here depends only on t, you can write this equation like dy and then py, okay, and dt qt, okay. So then what do? You can take derivative integral, okay. So this is just brief explanation. So algorithm is that firstly identify what? Identify separable, not separable. If it's separable, identify py and qt, okay? Qy and what's that?
Py,
yeah. Okay, let's say pt and py, right? And then move pt and q again
qt
py qt to corresponding places. Let's say that means you move py to here and the dt to here, okay? So then, as you know, this sign means that you can take the integral. So once you take the integral, you get the solution, okay? For example, we get here function that depends on y, something. Here, function that depends on t plus a constant, okay? But here, not always you get y. Sometimes you get just y and something, okay? Something plus c. This is called explicit solution. When you have just y, it's called explicit solution. And when you are asked to find explicit solution, you have to write this kind of form. Y equals, for example, let's say it's qt integral is going to be, for example, et, right? Okay. Et. Okay. So sometimes you can get, this is the first case, and this is the second case. Sometimes on the left side you can have another function that depends on e. It's going to be, for example, dy et plus c, okay? So in this form, this is also solution, but it's called implicit solution, okay? So most of the time it will be written, you will be asked to find explicit or implicit solution. If you have this solution, if you have on the left side after the integral function, not just y, you look at the question. If it's in instruction, it's written that implicit solution is also okay. We just leave like that. It will be solution. If not, you can find explicit solution. Okay. For example, let's say dy is equal to y prime, and et is, for example, 2t plus c. This is a solution. It's not explicit solution because this is not just y. Okay, this is implicit solution. Okay, y squared. If you are asking to find implicit solution, it's pretty easy. y equals to what?
Square root.
Square root.
2t plus c.
Just easy. This is explicit solution. This is implicit solution, okay? Right? So, pretty simple. Now we are going to solve some questions for this type. We have analyzed only for this type. If separable, that means separable. What does mean separable? That means you can move, the function depends only on y to the left side and dt to the right side, okay? Separable means when you can take integral from both sides, okay? When you have, okay, separable means when you have on the upper side function that only depends on y and denominator a function that only depends on t. For example, c. Okay. Oybek, is it separable or not? You can see, yes.
Yes.
Why?
Because
Because this function
Because
depends
this-
only on y,
on y and this only on t.
t. So, what's the format? I mean, you have to move this, c, py, to the down of dy, c, dy, 4y minus 1, and then there is dt, you have to move this dt to here. I mean, the point is that you substitute, the positions of py and dt, okay? It's pretty simple. And finally, this one, you can take integral this and this, okay? For example, this is not, okay. Is this separable or not?
No.
No.
It's not separable.
Because see, although this function depends only on t, this function depends both on t and y, okay? For example, if there was t, is it separable or not?
Separable.
No.
Right, separable because you can take this t out of the bracket and this, this two will become one, okay? After
Yes.
crossing.
But I have a question. Can you
Okay.
write one? Like the previous one, you said it's not separable.
T.
Instead of T1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I also asked such kind of question from Pamskova. She said that we can write 4yt divided by t squared minus 1 divided by t squared.
Yes.
So
So it is not separable. She told that also we can
4yt,
We transform it.
4yt what? 4yt.
Yeah,
Divide by t squared. Yes.
minus 1 divided by t squared.
Ah, yeah.
So it's separable.
In this case,
No. it's
No.
not.
No.
See.
Okay, check it.
4yt t squared minus 1 t squared.
Anyway, it's not separable.
You have two functions, this function and this function.
They need to be the same?
Yeah.
Not
Not the same. The function upper side should depend only on y, and the downside should depend only on t, okay? Only then
It should be in the
it's
form of
separable.
fractions. somehow.
Yeah. Only then it's separable.
In your
It's not.
denominator.
If this condition is not met, you solve it as a linear, okay? If you can do like this, if the function depends only on y and t, this is separable. If it's not separable, this is linear, okay? We will analyze this type later. So now we're going to solve some problems. If you want to take picture, take it. Okay. In midterm sample 2017, in question number 1, there are three types of equations are given. For example, here dy dt equals t. It's a part A. Have you found?
Yes.
So, Full. So, Separable. Why it's separable?
Because function y, for example, can be equal to 1.
Yeah. So as Amir pointed, function y can be 1, and this is t. This is another function. I mean, qt here is t.
Qy
Okay.
is 1.
Py is just 1. Okay. Okay, you got it. So the point is that you move this one to this side. Okay. Dy over 1. Okay. T is here. You move this dt to the right side, dt. Okay? So now you have dy, t, dt. So you can take integrals from both sides. What's the output of this integral?
Y.
Y. And here? Over 2. Just don't forget constant, okay? So who can tell me, is this implicit or explicit solution?
Explicit.
Okay. So I'm going to solve one more problem on my own, and then I will invite someone to solve this problem, another problem. Okay, part B, let's say. So a little bit trickier. dy equals to 1 plus, actually before it, here I've written that dy dt in the form of p, y, and qt, right? Yeah? This condition is also okay. See, if there is multiplication, this is also okay, right? Yeah, this is also okay, I mean.
Yes.
It should, I mean, the point is that it's not always, I mean, the fraction, it can be also multiplication. Then you move this to here, and here as outcome, then you will have dy over py equals to qt multiplied dt, okay? So second case, not always fraction. Here in cases there was multiplication. In this case, t is qt, and as Amir pointed, 1 is py, okay? So let's consider problem part B. Here you can see 4x squared plus cosine
4x squared. You said, but in the cube you
Cube.
yeah, sorry. This is 1. This is dt. I mean, here is written y prime, and it's equal. I mean, it's the same as this form. Okay. Any question?
Yes.
So who can tell me what's the value of qt and py?
Qt is just 1 plus 4 times x cube plus cosine x,
Okay.
and py is just 1.
This is what?
Qt.
In this case,
Qx, yeah.
Q of x.
Yes.
So multiply by 1, and
Yes.
this is
It's
what?
py.
Py. So we follow this structure, move 1 from py to down, dy over 1, and then move dt to the right side. You have 1 plus this plus cosine x dx, okay? Here it's also x. So now it's pretty easy. You take integral from this side or from this side. Integral of dy, it is
just
Y.
And
X plus
what's the integral of this function?
x plus.
If there is plus, if there is plus, as you know, you can, I mean, consider all these cases separately. Yeah, plus
X
4
power of 4.
dx plus cosine dx. So y equals to
X
x.
plus x power
X.
of 4.
To the power of 4.
Actually, you can, let's write like this one, okay? Plus
Sine x.
cosine sine x and this is right.
Constant.
So perfect. This is easy. This is again
explicit.
explicit solution. So now, okay, I want to invite 2 students who think that in their heart they are not pretty sure at solving this problem. Who still have doubt. Okay. Come on. And one more. Who thinks that who has kind of
Or has a difficulty to solve this kind of question?
who's not 100%. I mean,
Sure.
sure. I'm confusing also like this. Huh? can solve here. This is can you write it?
Çap can you take a bit space? Just those kind of
Those gammas we are putting.
Okay, one more student.
Recording etap. Etap почти уже.
Točí se navazené kuprovač se nebylo těm klientům.
Do you have
can do it in your copy.
So we'll first analyze you can solve it. We'll first analyze first order derivatives, and we'll have 5 or 10 minutes break because yesterday we have conducted introduction to IT masterclass for freshmen. Everything was ideal till we got to the point of explaining Brookshire. After the Brookshires, they were dead. They were sleeping. It was too
Too long.
long.
Exhausting.
5 hours.
Actually, almost 3 hours, so that's why I don't want the situation yesterday, repeat today, so that's why we're going to have some break.
5, 10 minutes.
5, yeah, in each.
That's why there is some kind of a coffee break and break conferences. Coffee break.
Could you please explain to guys, to friends?
Okay, now in
See,
first step,
attention.
I separated to divide dx and then take integral to the y side and dx side. Then by integration, it will become y and x. So
Yeah,
and plus x plus constant.
yeah.
Yeah, good. But I have one suggestion here. In the second step, I suggest you to use brackets because instead of without brackets, it's a different in
And also, see, you can see, in this scenario, this part, okay, everything is given by multiplication. See, here, our py is 1, okay. I hope everything is understandable. So what we have here, py. Okay, let's go step by step. First, so we have to find which is this qy. Okay, we have to move qy to this side. Yeah, because y stays in its own position, gy, and now you have qy here. Okay, so your px is 1, and you move dx to the right side. Okay, this is right to this side. In this case, see, qt is 1 in your case. You move py to this side. Your py is y plus 5. Here. Y plus 5. Okay, in this case, you move this function that depends on y to the left side, below the dy, down, and then you move dt to the right side, and multiply it to qt. In this case, px, okay? Px is 1, so you multiply 1 to dx, okay? Understand, right? You move this to the down and dx to the right. Always. You always move dx or dt to the right. Okay?
It doesn't matter if we will have q of x.
If q of x is the same. Q of x or p of x function that depends on x or t stays the right side. You move the function that depends on y to the left side. Okay? So you have this one and you can solve. Just don't look at it yet because see, you move gy to the right side, yeah? See, but when you move gy to the right side, it will be below of it, not multiplication. Gy to here. Okay, it won't be here, but multiplication. And in fact, you shouldn't move this dy always stays here, okay? You move the function that depends on dy and y to the right side. Okay, so you can now solve. Now substitute qy, it is y plus 5, okay?
I have to take integral.
Yeah, right, dx, integral, and here, integral of dx, right? here, integral. And you take integral from both sides. What's integral of this?
It will be 1 squared over 2 plus 6x.
No, it's gonna be, see, you have to substitute, for example, substitute it as y, okay? And u as u. And then take, find dy. When you take derivative from both sides, it will be dy, okay? 5, derivative of 5 is 0. And du, okay? And here you write instead of du, dy. And instead of y plus 5, u. And this is a table integral. What is the result of it? LMU. It's a result of it, LMU. You have to learn
Can you
it.
separate
Huh?
Can you separate the u by 1u and multiply 1 over u?
Which one?
But
You mean
this one.
dy multiplied by 1 over u.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So it will be clear.
Yeah. In this case, when you have this kind of situation, this function will be ln u plus c and something. And then you substitute here instead of u of y plus 5, okay? And the integral of the x is integral of 1 is
X
just x
plus
plus constant, okay?
Is it u?
Is it understand? It's equal solution because we don't have just y, okay? On the left side. Okay, then it would be explicit, but now it's explicit, okay?
Can you make it by adding e?
Yeah, of course. Of course, if you have this solution and if you're asked to find explicit solution, you can just write, just take both sides the e, okay, the power of e, and then you will have e ln y plus 5 equals to e to the power x plus c, okay? So now, see, you know that the formula, logarithm formula, for example, ln e x equals to x, because the base are e is the same, so you can substitute. For example, you can write x ln e, okay? You can substitute this and this. And ln e, it's 1, so it's going to be just x. In this case, our x is y plus 5, okay? You got it? Just y plus 5, because you can substitute this into this. And ln of e is 1. So the power is just 1. Power فقط بر 1. So power. So the plus means power is what? Multiplication. E to the power s, and you can c, and you can substitute this c by new constant c0, and you can write c0 multiplied x. Okay. So your implicit solution is this, but explicit solution is going to be y equals c e x minus 5. Okay. This is your implicit solution. So I hope separable first order equations are clear for you. So now we're going to consider non-separable first order differential equations, which are also called linear. Okay.
Can we go because
Okay. First order linear differential equation. Okay. This order. And we're going to consider the case when it's homogeneous, right? Homogeneous.
So
Homogeneous.
what's homogeneous?
It's always homogeneous, right? It equals to 0. First order equation.
Homogeneous term of homogeneous.
I got it. Yeah. Okay. So you have this kind of formula. Y, for example, here it's A, plus by equals what?
Plus
C equals 0, okay? This is a format of first order linear differential equation. And what do? You have standard form. Firstly, you have to find the standard form. And what's the standard form? Standard form is when you have just this, okay, when there's no constant near y prime, okay? So in order to get this 1 prime, what do? Divide by a. So when you divide by a, you're going to have y prime plus ba equal to multiply c plus c over a equal to 0. And this ba is not always, the constant. Most of the cases it can be function, okay? So in this case, what do? In order to find y, the objective is to find y, okay? You are given this differential equation, but you want to find y. So in order to find y, first you have to find so-called integrating factor, okay? ux or ut depends on the
Variable.
the variable, yeah. So the formula of it is going to be what? Just e to the power ba dt or dx. Let's denote this ba as px, okay? So you find integrating factor, that's right, just below. This formula e to the power of px dx, okay? So this is just the formula, this is a process, and we'll consider some examples. Firstly, you have this case. You have found the standard form. It's called standard form. And then you find integrating factor, okay? Mu x. And then what we will have? You multiply both sides of standard form to this ux, okay? So, for example, you have then u mu x, okay, ux and mu x multiplied to y prime plus, let's say, x multiplied, instead of b over a, I'm going to write px, okay? And this equals to, let's say, we move this to this side, c minus a, and let's write this c minus a as a function, mu x equals to qx, okay? So, c over a is not a constant, it's going to be a function. So overall, you will have this case. See, firstly you find standard form. These are functions, okay, px and qx, let's say. After that, you find integrating factor, and then you multiply your integrating factor to standard form for both sides, and finally you have this kind of thing. And then this equals to derivative of multiplication of mu x multiplied to y. This equals to mu x qx, okay?
Shahrup, you missed the y after p of x.
In this form. So that means what your y equals to, actually, this equals to integral of this side, okay? Dx. And who can tell me the value of y?
1 over mu x.
Okay, you move this to the right side. 1 over mu x multiplied, let's say this is a, right? To a, okay? It's pretty simple. Firstly, find standard form. If there's a, you just divide a, okay, this is full equation. And then you denote px and qx. You move this ca, px to the right side. And after that, you find integrating factor. Let's write this first, second. And once you find integrating factor, you can multiply this standard form to integrating factor, right side and left side. The step 3, and then you find u, okay? It's pretty simple. Okay, I just, instead of this integral, I mean, this integral, I just thought that it's a instead of just rewriting again, okay? This is a, this integral is just a. So now now consider one example. I guess. In 2017, there's no example with first order linear equation. So, okay, I have one. Okay, I found one example. See, you're given this equation. No, I don't know. I just take a screenshot of it. I'm going to say later. Okay, see, this equation is given. See, RT. No. R is a IT is a function, right? And E plus 1 over C QT equals to ET. And it's also given that IT is equal to dQ dt. Okay? This is in fact Kirchhoff's second law, and values of R and C are given. So first of all, let's substitute this IT with given value equals to dQ dt, okay, plus 1 over C QT ET, okay? So now as you can see, our QT, our Q is going to be Y, okay? Is our Y in this case, right? So firstly, is it standard form? In the standard form or not?
No.
What should we do in order to get standard form?
Divide it by
Divide.
R.
Okay, let's divide that. I'm going to write just Q prime, okay, instead of this, plus 1 over RC QT, so the QT just Q, okay, equals to 1 over this equals to ET, okay? So, okay, it's given that R is 200 ohms, C is 5 multiplied 10 to the power minus 4 farad, and our ET is given just like 100 volts. So you can substitute this RC and R is ET, this values. So let's do it. Q prime plus what? So RC, I write 1 over 200 multiplied 5 multiplied 10 to the minus 4, okay? It's Q, right? And this equals to what?
1 over 200.
Multiplied?
100.
100. So this 10 to the power minus 4 goes up, okay? And what's the value of this one?
1000.
1 over 10.
The value.
It's 10.
10 power 3. 10 power of minus 1.
It's overall
See,
10.
this, I mean, this goes to R. And what's the value of this
10
one?
power
10 to the power of 3.
So what's the outcome?
10.
Okay. Q plus 10. Q, and this is 1 over 2, okay? So this is what? This is our standard form. And see, as in the separable, I mean, sometimes you see, as you remember, how PQ or, I mean, PY and QT can also be kind of constant, yeah? So in this case also, our PX in this case is going to be what? 10, okay? I mean, the function means that it's not supposed always to be with x. With x, okay? For example, this px can be what? 10 to the power x 0. Okay? And 0.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, 0, okay? So that, regardless of input, your outcome will always be 10, okay? Now, it's given that C is 10, 5, and -4. So, our PQ is Px is going to be 10, and our Q is going to be 1/2. I'm not going to write it because we're not going to use this one. We're going to use this one to find what?
Integrating factor.
To find?
Mu of x.
Integrating factor. We have to find integrating factor. The first step was to find our standard form. The second step is to find integrating factor. And then the third step, when we come multiply this integrating factor to standard form, this one, and then define this value of y by using this formula, okay? So what's going to be our integrating factor?
E power of 10x or e power of 10?
Okay, mu x, okay, is going to be e to the power of integral
Of
dx, 10 dx, okay. So what, in most of the cases, it's really simple, but in most of the cases, I do recommend you to solve this integral separately, okay, and come back here, just put the result to the power of e, okay. But in this case, we can solve just directly. Integral of 10
10x.
10x. So our mu x is going to be 10x, okay? So this is our second step, and as our third step, what do? We multiply left side and right side of our standard form to this, okay? What do we get? Can I just write explicitly or opening the brackets?
Yes.
Multiply qy and q prime plus 10 x multiplied to q plus 1/2 multiplied equals to 2 multiplied to 10x. Okay? This is our, we are in the third step. This means that we are here. So now we have to write the left side, we have to write mu x multiplied to y equals to integral of the right side, okay? Okay, who can tell me why we're writing it?
You multiply mu, like you found mu, yes?
Yeah.
This is e to the power of 10x.
Yeah.
So you multiply to the, like at the beginning, q prime, and you need to multiply at the end. But why you multiply also to q, like 10 e
Actually,
middle part?
consider this left,
Yes,
okay?
yes, yes.
Left side, this is the right side, okay? You multiply q to the left side with right side. Mu x multiplied to L, it's the left side. Mu x multiplied to R, it's the right side. So our L is what? Our L is this whole. Not only q prime, but also
Yeah.
plus 10q.
Every time it's like the whole before the equal sign.
Yeah.
Every time it's the
What do you mean, the whole?
Whole maybe.
whole, yeah, whole.
Yeah, you multiply mu x to the left side. The left side is not only this q prime, okay? There's also plus 10k.
If for example
Left side
there's
of equal
10K
sign.
and plus like 25, we also take 25 also. For example,
You should multiply everything before the equal sign.
Actually,
hammasini ko'paytirasiz.
Constants and everything goes to the right side. 25, everything goes to the right side. But in fact, we're going to consider first order equations which are not linear, okay? But in this case, it's linear because, do you know, okay, Silence, do you know what makes equation linear? Chongchong, can you explain?
Of course.
For example, T. Let's firstly solve this till the end, then we will color, okay? So this is what we have found. We have found this mu x and multiplied. And by definition, we know that mu x, our e power 10x, multiplied to y, okay, equals to the integral of the right side, okay? Integral of the right side. In the right side, we have what? 1/2, 10 to the power e to the power 10x and dx, okay?
So it's better to use q, the one.
Where is Q?
Yeah, instead of y it's
Because your
q,
function is q.
Sorry.
and instead of x it's t.
Yeah.
But it was t in the beginning, but we changed it somewhere.
Okay.
Okay.
It's an x and t, it's just
That's okay. The outcome is something like that. Okay. So our q is going to be 1 over mu x. 1 over mu x is going to be 1 over 10. This one, integral of this, okay? See, we have limited time, so that's why I think it's pretty easy to calculate the rest of the stuff.
yes,
So let's just remain like that. Okay. So I'm going to invite one student who will solve one linear first order. Yes, you can. First, let me find clean the board.
Second one also.
We have similar problem. R q prime plus 1 over c q equals to e c. Okay, and your r is 10, your c is 1 over 30, and take your e, for example, 10. So,
Просто allora non è la cosa, cioè sì.
So the first thing that you do is to find out standard form. In order to find standard form, you divide equation to one part. Okay? You can also directly substitute initially, it's not a problem.
Василий Уткин.
Homogeneous property, exact property.
Просто сижу.
Ну, подсказывай.
На 10 разделил просто.
Sonra? Göstersin.
Neden olsa iyi olsa pasiye bıraksın bu. Evet.
А, теперь ты надеешься.
Oslovsiz hujjatda ikki so'z qovuradi. Bilan hosil olasizda o'sha qo'zg'algan tushadi. Shuni ma'lum qilish
And then you divide this. So, you want to get explicit solution, okay? When it's just x and just q is y. You want to get explicit solution, and so formally you have to divide this part to ux.
Вот x добавим, то не буде.
Can you explain after the last two sentences?
After this,
Yeah, after this.
you find, okay, listen, you find ux, okay, let's explain from this. You find ux here, and not ux, standard.
Factor, you mean?
Yeah, you see, this is standard form, right?
Yes.
Then you find integrating factor.
Yes.
This is your integrating factor. And then you multiply your standard form to this integrating factor. So, for example, C, потом,
There is a mistake.
Yeah, 5t.
Equals to the last part. Yes.
dt 5t it should be.
U equals to the last part.
where is this?
I have poor vision. I cannot see.
It's not
Actually, it's dt. You have written everything. dt the dx, or I don't know. It's here dt. dt, okay. This is dt. Why is here x? Why is q? dt. So, I mean, again, you multiply integrating factors to standard form, and then, actually, then, multiplication.
You equals to the last part e prime, yes?
You integrating
equals to the last part e prime. Да, ты что, смотрите, срочно. Ну вот, это же
Integrating
правильно.
factor across is constant.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll show you
Mu
integrating factor.
equals to
Yeah, yeah.
the last part.
What do you mean last part?
И.
She can maybe
After the
go to the
Can you come to
blackboard, yeah, and show.
mu equals to the like this part.
You multiply this part.
Формула покажи.
You
Yeah,
multiply.
multiply and if equals.
Because y equals, because on the right side you have
One.
1.
If you want,
Okay.
Still, this is
So, and then it's just a formula. Okay? U x multiplied y equals to qx. It's right side, everything is the right side. I mean, here qx is this one, okay? Multiplied to ux. Just
mu
formula.
x,
Mu x. Okay? Integrating factors. Okay?
Yeah. What is it?
So now let's consider. Okay, I hope this case is understandable.
Yes, sir.
I mean, but okay, listen. So I've told you that first order equations sometimes have two types: separable and non-separable. But not all non-separable equations are linear. Okay, some of them may not be linear. How do we know it's linear? Okay, let's firstly see examples. So I'm going to tell you some. I'm going to write here functions. I mean, differential functions, and you will tell me whether it's linear or not linear. Okay. For example, you have this plus c, 2 plus x, let's say, multiplied u squared.
It's not linear.
Why it's not linear?
Not linear.
Okay, so that means the power should be
The same.
One.
okay. In the first term, yeah.
In
Power should
standard
always
form.
be 1, okay? If it's 2 or if it's bigger than 1, then it's not linear, okay? So, of course, there are some tricks in order to convert, in order to solve the differential equations which are not linear. For example, there are substitution methods. You substitute, you use one method, and you get as a result, for example, linear or separable, okay? But not all differential equations, I mean, first order differential equations can be substituted. We will consider some special cases, okay? So the first type of substitution is called homogeneous. Okay, see, you have this case, the function that depends on x and y. Okay? The function that depends on x and y. So if f I for x, I for y equals to f xy, what does it mean? What does it mean? If you, instead of x input and y input, you give alpha x and alpha y input, if the output is same, then it's homogeneous, okay? I mean, not this, I mean, this equation is homogeneous, okay? Homogeneous equation. Okay? So, let's see one example. And in this, if you identify that this equation is homogeneous, again I repeat, instead of x, you put alpha x, alpha y, and if the output is the same as the inputs of x and y, then this equation is homogeneous, and then you substitute y over x with mu z. Okay? Everything is just a formula, just try to memorize, just make some notes. So let's take one example, consider one example. See, we have what? We have dy dx, okay? And this is equals to xy plus y squared plus x squared over x squared. Okay? Is this separable or not separable?
No.
Not separable. Okay. Is it linear or non-linear?
Not linear.
Why?
Not
Because
linear.
power 2.
Okay, see. When you, okay, in exam, when you see first order differential equation, the first thing that you ask yourself, is it separable or not? And then you go one level down, you ask yourself if it's linear or not. If it's linear, you know how to solve, okay? If it's not linear, you see if you can apply some substitution method in order to convert it to form of separable or linear, okay? So one, here, in this case, I mean, when equation, okay, equation is not separable and not linear, we are going to apply substitution method, and as a result we get either separable equation, okay, or linear equation. Okay, so see, I'm going to repeat. You see the first order differential equation. You ask yourself whether you can solve it using, is it separable or not? Okay. So then, if it's not separable, if it's separable, you solve like separable. If it's not separable, you see if it's linear or not. If it's linear, you solve using this algorithm. I mean, finding integrating factor and so on. So if it's not linear, you try to check whether you can use substitution method in order to convert this equation to separable or linear format. Okay? There are actually 4 types of substitution method. So this is this first one. This is the first case. Okay? See, when I've told you earlier, yeah, when inputs are alpha x and alpha y, and if the output is the same as the inputs x, y, this is homogeneous equation, and you can try this substitution, okay? You can substitute y over x to z, and after substituting successfully, this was not linear, not separable, right? I mean, this is not linear, not separable. Consider not separable, not linear, okay? But we have found that this is homogeneous equation, and now we try to substitute y over x with z, then as a result we will get separable equation, okay? I mean, the point is that when you find that this equation is homogeneous, you apply substitution method and you get separable equation, okay, as a result. So now we're gonna see one example. It's pretty easy. I'm going to delete this one. I won't delete anything. I mean, I've already written the example. You can take after. See, okay, let's check. Okay, let's check. You have said that this is not separable, right? Non-separable, because here function depends only on x, but here depends on y. It's not linear because there is y squared. So let's check if it's homogeneous. Okay. So no. Okay. Let's see. Let's consider it's f x y. Okay. X y plus y squared plus x squared over x squared. Okay. So input, when x equals to x and y equals to y, this is output, okay? And let's consider when x equals to x equals to alpha x and y equals to alpha y. Okay, instead of x, we're going to put alpha x and alpha y. So then what we will get, f alpha x and alpha y equals to, so first let's write denominator, x squared. Instead of x squared, I'm putting what? Alpha
Square.
x, that's square, okay? So x multiply y. X is alpha y, multiply alpha, x alpha y, okay? Understand right?
Yes.
So then y squared is going to be alpha y squared, and then x squared is going to be alpha x squared, okay? So this equals to, so I mean, you know, it's going to this, okay? I mean, alpha squared is going to be x squared, right? Right? I mean,
Yes.
and here, alpha is going to be alpha squared, right? xy, okay? This is alpha, this is not d, okay? This is alpha. And then here it's going to be alpha squared y squared plus alpha squared x squared, okay?
So we can cancel alpha squared.
Yeah, you can take this alpha squared out of the bracket, and what you will have,
The same.
Essentially.
X plus y squared.
they are cancelled. So we have left this one. We know the output of this is equal to fx. So what we have got that this equals to this. So this is homogeneous. Is everything clear up to this point?
Yes.
So that means we can. So that means we, yeah.
That means it's homogeneous.
Okay, I cannot find the example. That means it's homogeneous, and we can try this substitution. So y over x z, you can write y equals to what?
Z times x.
Z times x, right? Z times x. I mean, is it to this?
That's arithmetic.
Okay. Okay. So you know, for solving this differential equation, this we need not only y but also value of y prime. Okay. So I mean, we have the value of y, but we also need y prime. I mean, this is y prime, right? So let's find y prime. So left side it's just y prime. I mean, d dx, okay. So here we use implicit differentiation. Yeah, differentiation.
Yeah.
So first it's a product rule. Yeah. So x prime z plus x z prime. Okay.
So we should assume x and z also functions, basically.
Of course.
Z is a function of x.
Of course. So
They are not arguments, they are not variables, they are functions.
this is a product rule. We have studied
X
it.
and Z are functions, yes?
And yeah, x and z are functions. You can say it's px, and this is qz, okay? Consider them separately.
Qx.
Qz, sorry, qz.
Not qx. Z is also function of x. I think.
Actually, you're right. I should have written zx. Okay, right?
I think it's just q of
Just
x.
enough.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see right now. First. Okay. Means z is actually function of x,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You can leave it just like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So dy dx. What's this? X prime. What's x prime? X. X prime. Derivative of x. Wait.
What?
Yeah, you know what? 1 multiplied z plus
Yes.
yeah.
So how you take the derivative?
No, z function.
X is function. X is function.
Why?
So y is 1.
Yes, I mean this one, like we cannot take derivative from.
We take derivative for x. Just depending on
Imagine that this is power n, okay? Power n, okay? If you want to take derivative
So in this case,
I
x
like this.
x and minus
no. He means if it's a function.
Si.
So x in this case x is not a function, but you said this
This is
case it's a
function.
function. So basically x
Z is function.
But z is function also.
Okay,
Always.
X is not
Короче,
function.
x funksiya emas, z o'zi funksiyada. Mana bu yerda nima bo'ladi? Bu yerda просто x qanaqa narsa bo'ladi? Variable.
Короче, o'zbekcha
Konstitutsiyaga o'xshagan narsami?
Просто unda x o'zida.
Kechirasizlar.
Some Russian people, yeah?
Qaranglar.
Yeah.
Z o'zi funksiya xolos, x funksiya emas.
Nima x funksiya deyishdi?
X funksiya.
Запутались, все просто.
Qarang,
X funksiya-ku.
Bu x funksiya emas, bu x prime. X funksiya. X bu x, okay?
Orga yetolsangiz kesin.
Yo'q, constant bas bu. Constant bas.
Variable.
Variable.
Любое число больше выходит.
Qarang, bu
It's independent variable.
To'g'ri tushundim, men to'g'ri tushundim. Just let me speak. So in this case, qarang, this implicit differentiation, when you find in different, x differentiation topib turganingizda производныйsini, you take z as constant. Okay? Okay? So zx, if your calculator is this, if z is constant, you write here, просто x производныйsi 1 bo'ladi, is z bo'ladi. Endi z производныйsini olib turganingizda x constant qilib olasizda. It's implicit differentiation, okay?
It looks like different.
Ko'paytmadan hosil.
Product rule, yeah.
Chain rule.
Not change. Hey, what? Ikkita function to'g'rimi? x, z, q, y berilgan to'g'rimi? Buni derivative topsangiz siz firstly this derivative of this one p prime x multiplied q y
Plus.
plus px multiplied q prime. In this case, our px is x and our qy, in this case z, okay, is z, okay? So p prime x bu x prime, x derivative это просто один, is z. And in this case you take just px as it is, you can see, and you find q prime, z prime.
So the final answer is z plus x,
No?
z plus x, x prime.
No. She use
X prime. X prime.
this is not final answer. Let's be quick. Z plus x, and this equals to. This is as Dostan said, z is actually a function of x. Okay. Okay. This is a chain rule. You know. You know chain rule. Zx prime umnožena na ichidagi funksiya. Bu funksiyani endi gx deb olaylik-da.
O'shani hozirmiz.
Gx prime. Tushundingizmi? Okay. So, what's the derivative of z? Z? What's
prime.
No. What's the derivative of z prime? Just z.
Just z.
No, derivative of z. Just
Z prime.
1.
1. And what's the derivative of gx? In this case, it's x. It's just
x.
dx, dz, dx.
It's just x.
Come
Z prime.
Короче, zx derivative equals to x d just dzx, okay? To'g'ri aytdingiz, men xato qildim hozir. Z ni prime just z prime. Okay? To'g'ri aytdingiz. Z ni prime just z prime. because z is a function and it's not 1. I made this mistake here. Z prime chain rule z на прайма умножен на уничтожение функция на дериватива z на uza на прайма as the right pointed just z prime, okay? Store like this, just z prime. So it's going to be z dx, okay? Just z prime.
Z 0 bo'ladi. Compound function bo'ladi.
Ezberda yana o'rganyapmiz. Okay, qarang, z prime and just z prime. In this case, our gx is going to be just x, so derivative of x is
1.
1. Okay? Put it in that way.
How is this topic called?
Huh?
In the book, how is this topic called?
Homogeneous equation.
Substitution.
Ne такое homogeneous theory?
Bitta misol ko'raylikmi?
Да, shunaqa edi. Shu sizga
There is no topic homogeneous equation.
There is a topic substitutions where we have
Special integrating factors, substitution.
yeah. Inside of substitution we have homogeneous equation. Substitution.
I'm going to use this part and prove just this is homogeneous equation. Of course. See, we are here to analyze some more difficult topics here, variation parameters, so that's why please be quick. I hope you understand, you have a point, yeah, I mean, about this. Let's just solve quickly this part, because most of the people, I mean, don't have any kind of problems with solving this first order differential equations. So, now we have done substitution. Now our dy dx equals to z plus x dz dx, okay? Okay? Our y was equal to zx. So now, what do you do now?
Shohrux dx ni o'chirib yuboring buni. dy tagidagi. Hozir siz dy ni topdingiz-da yo'qda. To'g'rimi? Adashdimmi?
Qarang. Funksiya to'g'rimi? Substitution qilyapsiz-da, shuni x z. Вот ikkala tomonni derivativini olamiz. Buni derivativi
Ha, все, tushundim.
bo'ladi. This equal to dy dx, okay?
Ha, boshqa narsa o'yladim.
O'chiryapman.
X ga
We
tushundim.
have this part. This is most important. Okay, attention. So now we have found y zx, and we have found already y prime. I mean, so now we can substitute this with the value of this one, and all of these y's with this value. Okay.
Yes.
So now let's write instead of dy dx this expression. It's going to be z plus x dz dx. Okay. So instead of x, we write just x, right? And here x, and instead of y, you write this
zx.
zx. So it's going to be xz plus instead of y square, you write xz square, okay? And plus
X squared.
x squared. So, as you can see here, okay, if you want to take some break, you can take some break if something is not clear. I mean, just refresh your mind, okay? Don't sleep. This is going to be x squared and z. See, here is also x squared, z squared plus x squared. So you can take this x squared out of the bracket,
Yes.
right? And this will be
Cancel.
cancelled. So finally we will have z plus z squared plus
1.
1. Okay, I mean, z's are going to be cancelled, right?
Yes.
So x,
Now we have
z, and also let's just move this x to the right side, just for a while, okay? I'm moving this x to the down, denominator. And see, what kind of, Haruch, what kind of equation have we got? Why it's separable?
Because every part depends on only one.
Yeah, because this part depends only on z, and this part depends only on x, okay? So the rest of the thing you can do on your own. You solve this as a substitution. I mean, not substitution, as separable. So let's solve it again, okay? So we move this to the denominator, and this x, dx to here, okay? So dz over this function, z squared plus 1 equals to dx here over x. So you take the root, you take integral from both sides. It's going to be z squared plus 1 dz. Okay. Do you know this value?
Arctangle.
It's going to be arc tangent z equals to ln x plus c, okay?
Yes.
So now instead of z, you write what? Zx equals to y over x, okay? You move this value back here, and you will have what? Arctangent y over x equals to ln x plus c. This is your implicit solution. Okay?
boshdan yarmiga tushuntirib
Boshdan tushuntiraman, da, okay. So, qaranglar, birinchimizga bunaqa equation berilgan. Yana qaytaramiz. Birinchi bu first order equation, to'g'rimi? First order equation bo'lsa, biz birinchi o'zimizga savol beramiz, whether it's separable or not. It's not separable because this depends on both x and y. Okay, bu separable bas. Then what? Whereas, is it linear or not? Is it linear?
no.
Because but the y prime bor. Agar but the only y bo'lganda, it would be linear, okay? Okay?
Why we have x squared too?
У нас на
No, это зависит от хмеля.
Это просто константа x.
It's independent, yeah. You only look at the power of independent variable. Dependent. Independent is x, dependent is y. Okay? Okay, it's not linear, and then you ask yourself whether I can use substitution method. We only covered only 1 out of 4, so we want to check whether it's homogeneous or not. Homogeneous equation. What's homogeneous equation? It's when you put instead of x and y, alpha x and alpha y, if you get the outcome the same as this, it's called homogeneous equation. And after that, you substitute y. You can remember this scheme. You just substitute y over x to z, okay? Here. Okay? Out of this, you derive new expression for y. Y is going to be z multiplied to x. But see, here we only have not only y, we also have y prime, okay? Y prime. So we have to find from this expression y prime, or let's say we have to find the expression of y prime, which will be defined using z and x's, okay? So then you take derivative of this one, and then you can substitute, instead of dy, dy dx, you find the derivative of y that you have found through this, through product rule again. Okay?
So, one thing, Shafwa. Anytime dy over dx will be equal to z plus x dz over dx. So, not doing this kind of so long term, just put it.
Just yeah.
Actually, yeah.
You can. Of course, you can just memorize, but
Yes. I'm going to write everything step by step here. Just take a pic.
Divide dx можно заменить вот это вот.
Z равен верхней, берем дистантным будет dg, dt, z равен третьему
Okay, see. Agar homogeneous bo'lsa, все. Y ni z x bilan zamir qilasizmi? Y prime ni
Z plus
z plus x
dz over dx.
все.
Все, bo'ldi.
Tamam, tugadi. Ha?
Просто shuni eslab qo'yinglar.
Da. Agar equation homogeneous bo'lsa, shu bilan zamir qilasiz. Okay? Просто shuni yodlab oling. dy dx bilan bir xil to'g'rimi? dy dx y prime ekan-ku. Bo'ldi endi. Tupoy savollardan qildik. Okay.
Translate ko'rsatdi.
Okay. Just take a peek. Okay. Okay, see, I'm not going to aylarda hozir hammasini ko'rib chiqsa kechib ketadi-da. Substitution'larda ana to'g'ri so'rga ketganda qolib shuni yozib qo'yaman. O'zlaring nima qilib olasizlar. Misol uchun agar shunaqa qilaylik bo'lmasam
Postlardan uchta.
ikkita mavzu bor. Kursordan tashqari. So,